Welcome, everybody. It's great to see such a large and enthusiastic crowd here today. Thank you all for being here. My name is Todd Rodman. I'm a board member of the Research Bureau, and I'm the chairman of the selection committee for this year's Thomas S. Green Public Service Awards. Can everybody hear me in the back? I'll try and speak up so you can hear me. My role here today is to introduce the people listed in your program who'll be making brief comments, to thank the many people and organizations who made these awards possible, and to try to get you out of here in under an hour. First, let me add a personal note and to tell you the reason that I'm so happy to be here today, and the reason that the Thomas Green Public Service Awards is such a great event is that it honors municipal employees who do their jobs with exceptional skill and dedication, out of the spotlight, and with very little public recognition. As you're going to learn throughout this program, each of the 4 award recipients we're honoring today embody the characteristics that the Green Award is meant to recognize, including integrity, exceptional competence, efficient handling of all assigned responsibilities, and a remarkable commitment to public service. In the case of this year's 4 award recipients, we're lucky that they're all doing this work on behalf of the City of Worcester. I'd like to start today's program by thanking Assumption College for hosting this event and for providing the reception, which will be held across the hall in the salon immediately following the awards, and you're all invited to join us for that if you're able to stay. Dan DITULLIO, a member of the Research Bureau Board, a Green Committee member, and assistant to the president of Assumption College Government and Community Relations, is here on behalf of Assumption College to add his welcome. So I'd invite Dan to come up and say a few words.
Thank you very much, Todd. Assumption College is proud to be hosting the Thomas Green Awards here on campus again. We're extremely proud to continue to serve as the permanent home for the Research Bureau, who, for those of you who don't know, offices are actually housed here on our campus at Assumption. On behalf of our president, Francesco Cesareo, who unfortunately can't be with us here today due to a travel commitment, I want to welcome all of you here to Assumption College for this great event. Especially welcome our city leaders who have joined us here today, and most especially to welcome Brian, Deborah, Amanda, Hermes, and your families, to thank you for all that you've done. As a community, we could not be prouder of the many things you have done to serve our city and our schools, City Hall, our parks and streets. I can tell you that as the son of a public school teacher and a town assessor, I know how often your jobs are overlooked. But at the same time, I know how important all of you are to making the city the great city that it is. And with that being said, I again just want to welcome you all. Thank you. Congratulations to our winners. And I hope you have a wonderful evening here at Assumption College. Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Mayor Petty to come up and provide some brief remarks.
Thank you, Todd. Good evening, everyone. Just want to recognize City Councilor Soraya Rivera, School Committee Member John Monfredo. Welcome. I want to thank Assumption College for putting this on and hosting this for the last several years. I want to thank Tim McGurthy and the Worcester Regional Research Bureau, along with Eric and Catherine, and his new member next week, Mr. Quinn. And congratulations, Tim, you're doing a good job here. Since 1987, this event has recognized over 100 municipal employees who work hard every day and whose work may go largely unrecognized. In reading the biographies of the honorees today, you can tell how varied the day-to-day is for each of these 4 people. Brian Cummings is a machine instructor at the Worcester Technical High School. And Brian's a dedicated person. I get to know Brian over the last 6 years, and He's done a wonderful job up there at the school, and is dedicated to his students, but also to the city of Worcester. When you get those, you can read the bio, but whether it be the winter decorations, be part of that, the machine shop up there, and getting the kids involved, memorial coin, and a couple projects we sneak in without telling Maureen, don't ever tell her, but then also the key to the City of Worcester that we put together about 6 years ago now, when I first became mayor, the replica of the key in 1924. That's right, 1924. It's a wonderful job. We also have Amanda Gregoire as the Senior Project Manager of the Office of Economic Development. Amanda, you're doing a great job, wonderful job. You get all the big projects in the downtown area, whether it be the theater district over the Union Station to the side of to the courthouses, courthouse to courthouse. But let me tell you something. You're making a difference. It's people like, there's two things I want to tell you you're doing. You're attracting young people, and there's a momentum going with the young people here, especially in the art community and the powwow you were involved with. You can feel it. So, and also, for the first time, over the last 2 or 3 years, we're getting outside investors coming here in the city of Worcester, investing their money because of your hard work and other people's hard work. So keep it up. Good job. And also, we have Hermes Rivera, a shorty, down at the DPW. And let me tell you something. I'm not a city, I'm not there during the day, but I'm there at night, I'm there on weekends. I'm there, and I go everywhere, to a number of events. He's there, every event, every weekend, every night. And I remember telling the city manager when it was after a snowstorm, I said, you know, Mr. Manager, I said, you got to talk to him. I don't think he's been home in over 24 hours. We're into the second day. So, remember, I want to thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the city of Worcester. It makes a difference, and it's contagious. The attitude is contagious. It makes a difference. And of course, we have Deborah Donahue. She's in the right place right now in Mexico, but staff is in the city clerk's office, represented by her husband, Bruce. And I know Deborah since my first day in office, and she's an exciting person. The city clerk's office is very important to the mayor and the city council. And, it's a reflection of the whole city of Worcester. If the clerk's office doesn't do well, we don't do well. So, and she was very instrumental in the historical record, the record keeping, the technology, and being a fellow Eagle with her husband, fraternal order of the Eagles, but myself being a member, I just want to congratulate Deborah and have her keep up the good work. Anyways, I've read the letters of recommendation, and I found the differences in these employees are only limited to the job descriptions. I just want to read a few items from the letters of nomination. One letter read, one of the hardest working, most dedicated members of the city family. Another said, this person is a doer, not just someone who talks, but someone who does, and she's very funny. One anonymous letter from a member of the public said simply how considerate, accommodating, and generously they have been treated. And finally, not just an exceptional employee, but an exceptional person, and I have been blessed to know them. Their work may be different, but they each go about with the same dedication, care, and sense of selflessness. Each of these award winners volunteers their own time to charities, community groups. These are the employees who reach out to the community and actively engage with them, but their own time, efforts, and sometimes money into causes as varied as Powwow Mural Festival, to fundraisers for diabetes and cancer. Above all, the dedication work ethic of each of these public servants is the thing that comes through. This honor is well earned and deserved. Today, we are recognizing just 4 of the 1,000 employees, but in recognizing each of you, we're recognizing the men and women that you work side by side every day. We recognize it as the work of thousands doing incredibly different jobs towards a common goal of a better city that we are recognizing here today. So I'm only right and fitting that we recognize you, and thank you, because I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of this group. It's nice when you know everybody was getting the award personally and seeing the work that they've done. So keep up the great work. Congratulations. It's well deserved. Thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Well, thank you for that generous introduction, Todd. Well, it's great to be here today, and it's always a tough act following the mayor. But I would first say thank you to the Research Bureau for doing this event year after year and recognizing so many great city employees. you know, in a couple of weeks, I think I'm doing the State of the City speech at the annual Research Bureau event, and I could tell you, I'll give you a little sneak preview. The State of the City is very good, very healthy, thriving, and it is in no short measure due to the great employees that we have who show up every day, many times in, you know, unheralded ways, and deliver the services in a way that we all appreciate and have come to expect from our great city employees. So I'm very proud as city manager to be here and recognize a couple of them today. I also want to thank Assumption College for always hosting this. Assumption's a great partner with the city of Worcester, and we're fortunate to have such great partners in the higher ed community. I want to congratulate Deb. Deb is a place we probably all would want to be right now, but she's ably represented by her husband, and Deb's a great presence in the clerk's office, and over 34 years has had a chance to see every facet of the clerk's office, and could do any role within the clerk's office, and probably has multiple times. And that's the kind of dedication and talent, constantly learning, constantly doing whatever's called upon to get the job done, to serve the public. And I think that just epitomizes her and her professionalism. Amanda Gregoire, I want to just tell everybody, keep your eye on her. Keep your eye on her. She is going places. She is a very talented young lady who already probably needs an addition onto her house to have all the awards and recognitions that she's so rightfully earned, with a lot more great things to come in the future. So she's got a great future here in the city of Worcester, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things she accomplishes in her career. Now, it would be funny if I called Hermes Shorty, because everybody's Shorty to me, but that's his nickname. And I'm proud to say that I'm usually one of the first people to arrive at City Hall every morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, except he's the #1 person who arrives at City Hall, because when I'm pulling into the parking lot, he's already there, usually blowing the leaves out of the parking lot or shoveling snow or doing whatever is necessary for that particular time of year to make sure that the common looks as clean and as attractive as possible. And all of us who work there and all of us who go there to conduct our business are proud of our center of our city and the center of city government in City Hall. And I honestly can say I don't think I know of a harder working person. Absolutely dedicated to what he does every day, and I'm so proud that he's being recognized today, and I congratulate him on that. Brian, thank you for all you do with the snowflakes that decorate our city every holiday season. Your work and the work of your students really is part of what makes our city attractive and great. And the keys to the city. God knows, all the keys that the mayor has given out, you've got to be one busy guy keeping up with that. But really taking the students at the Worcester Technical High School and giving them an opportunity not to just learn particular skills, but learn how to be part of a community and give back to a community. How powerful is that? How rewarding is that? And that's what you do every day. So on behalf of all of us at City Hall and in city government, I just want to say congratulations to the recipients this year, and a really sincere, profound thank you for what you do and the difference that you make. You make us all proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. And now I'd like to invite Superintendent BINIENDA to say a few words.
I'm one of the shot people. I want to thank you for inviting me to say a few words. I'm very appreciative to the Worcester Research Bureau, as many years ago also I received this award, and it's an honor that you carry with you as a recipient of the award. People are very aware of it, and it carries with it a pride you carry with you, because you know that you have to live up to the award and continue to have passion for your city and to be involved in your city. So I thank you again for giving me the award, and I'm happy today to be able to speak to the people that received the award today. Congratulations to Brian Cummings. Just want to share that we have a new program that we started this year. It's very unique. It's probably one of the first in the Commonwealth. And what it is that we are working with the Gerald Creamer Center that has our undercredited overage youth who weren't really successful in the comprehensive high schools, yet they're great kids, and they graduate from the Creamer, and oftentimes that's the end of the road for them. And so we really wanted to have a unique program where they got to learn manufacturing, and then they got to work with a business at Prime Metals. So we wrote a grant, support from Workforce Central, Tim Murray was involved in it, Worcester Tech, and the Creamer Center, and that program now is gone for a couple of weeks, and it's been very successful. And it's really successful because Brian is the instructor for that program, and really makes the kids feel like they're worth $1 million, because they are, and they have an opportunity for the first time in their life to do something unique and to feel like they're making a difference in this community. So I want to thank you for that. Also, for Debbie Donahue, mostly I want to thank her for always being polite when you meet her and for always being willing to help when we call down, answer questions, and to make you feel that you're important on the other side of the phone, and there's not one thing that she wouldn't find out for you. Amanda is a South High School graduate. I've known Amanda since she was 14 years old. I was her field hockey coach at South High School. And I can tell you that knowing Amanda since she's 14 makes me really proud to see all the difference she has made. However, I want to tell you that at 14, I knew she was going to make that difference. She was a great student. I used to give her rides home after practice. We would talk about all the things that are happening. And she was always interested in staying in Worcester and continuing to make this community a great place. So I'm very proud of her, and I'm very pleased to know you. Hermie, I was so pleased to read about how you take care of the ice rink, because as often as I walk around City Hall and I look at that, I always say, whoever is responsible for this does such a great job. It is always cared for, and then I see children skating on and adults, and say whoever's in charge of this is really dedicated to making a difference for others. So I thank you for that, and thank all of you, because what we need in Worcester are people like you, and more people like you, and we need you to be role models for youth and to connect with youth so they too can know that they can make a difference. And we want youth to stay in Worcester and to, you can go to college but come back here and continue to make a difference and get the positions in the city and continue to work so Worcester is the best. So I congratulate all of you.
Thank you to the superintendent, to the mayor, and the manager for those comments. You really get a sense of the impact that these folks have had and the sort of the web of relationships that's created. I also want to thank people for being here today. I know Diana Biancaria from the school committee just arrived, and we appreciate her being here, along with John Manfredo from the school committee and Sarai Rivera from the council. John Spillane is the chairman of the Research Bureau Board. I do not see him here. I think he was delayed in Boston at a meeting, but I did want to introduce Tim McGurty, the executive director of the Research Bureau. I also wanted to at least recognize the members of the Thomas Green Awards Committee. You've met me and Dan DITULLIO. You are going to meet Ellen Ganley and Bob Kennedy. who are making presentations along with Paul Provost and Karen Ludington. Stuart Loosemore from the Worcester Chamber is also on the committee, as is Sue Mailman. Tim McGurthy is on the committee. Joanne O'Leary from Eversource. Roberta Schaefer, the former Research Bureau President and CEO. Hank Stoltz from WCRN Radio. And I wanted to at least provide a special thanks to Eric Nealand, who, while he's not on the committee, is a program associate at the Research Bureau, and he coordinated a tremendous number of details that made this event happen. So appreciate that. Appreciate also our sponsors. They're listed in the booklet, and this is really a community event, and we certainly could not have done this without them. Each of the award winners has received a citation from the Massachusetts Senate, courtesy of Senators Harriet Chandler and Michael Moore. They've also received a citation from the Massachusetts House of Representatives, courtesy of Representative John Mahoney. Want to thank the City of Worcester Government Channel for videotaping the ceremony today. The event will be available to view on the Research Bureau's website and the city's website. Also, special thanks to Penta Communications for managing our website and making this possible. Now, for the reason that everybody's here today, the presentation of the awards. I'd first like to invite Bob Kennedy to come up and do the presentation for Brian Cummings from Worcester Technical High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have to admit, a substitute introducer. Sue Mailman wanted to be here, particularly for Brian, because Sue and her family have been deeply involved with Worcester Technical High School. But it is my luck that she is not in town, and I get a chance to introduce one very special guy of the 4 people who are being honored here today. First of all, I'm going to refer to my notes and the forms we got a nomination to tell you what struck us when we voted to support Brian for one of these 4 awards. This is a letter from Joe Petty. The work of Brian Cummings has been enjoyed by hundreds of Worcester residents, from nurses to teachers, to our police and firefighters, from Eagle Scouts and architects, to activists and veterans. This work is over and above his regular classroom work, but an integral part of his classroom work, and it has been involved in designing gifts, keepsakes, mementos for dozens of city initiatives and numerous community groups. The mayor mentioned snowflakes. If you're in downtown Worcester in the wintertime, we have snowflakes hanging from all the light posts, thanks to Brian and his students. The keys to the city, I saw the process. Mayor, you owe him a lot of money. But of particular note is that by bringing the city into his classroom, Brian has taught the students the importance of working to serve the larger community. The pride in the work of Brian and his students is evident. In short, his work has touched people from every corner of our city. Now, here's a guy who works a full school year, goes to training classes, has a wife and 3 kids at home, and is still finding time to do all this work. I had to meet this guy. I had to say, so last week, I had a chance to go to Worcester Technical High School. The last time I had been up there were vernal pools that they were arguing over whether they could put brick and mortar near them, but thankfully they did. It is quite a place. And I have to tell you, as an ex-manufacturing guy, it is a pleasure to go into that advanced manufacturing workshop and see the work that the young people of this city are doing. It is state-of-the-art through the efforts of the administration and Brian and the rest of the team of instructors that have served there since the school opened in 2006, I believe, the school opened. But there are machines in there that can think and do things that you and I can't think and do. And that's what makes manufacturing something that we can be proud of. Brian has brought that program to a level of expertise that is the pride of the city, the state, and an example of the excellence of American manufacturing in this country. So Brian, congratulations for all of that. One of the things I thought and Brian and I talked for a long time about the role of manufacturing. The role of manufacturing in the city of Worcester has been huge. In 1842, when the Boston and Albany Railroad finally broke through the barrier and it went across the state, Worcester was suddenly the middle of the 6 New England states and accessible. The problem they had at that time is they did not have any way of training people. So an organization with which I am quite familiar, the Worcester County Mechanics Association, was formed to train people to work in the factories of the day. And just one factoid that I keep stressing to people about Worcester is in the 1870s, this is over 100 years ago, there were more inventions patented in Worcester, Massachusetts than in any other community in the United States. Now, what Brian and the other folks at Worcester Technical High School are doing is they are proving that ingenuity, that take-a-risk mentality still exists in Worcester, and is something that is helping the mayor and manager, all our elected and appointed officials, giving them the wherewithal to attract that money that we need so desperately to be invested in our city. So Brian, thank you for selling Worcester and selling the community that you grew up in. I can't believe the guy graduated from high school in 1990. One other thing I have to mention, when I voted for Brian, and it was a unanimous vote to select him as one of the 4 recipients, I said, that name sounds familiar. A couple of weeks ago, we had an event at Mechanics Hall where we honored we had 600 people honoring the top vocational school students in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I went over and introduced myself to Brian. He said, I know you. I taught your CNC operators at Kennedy Die Castings how to run CNC machines. Now what he did is he took men and women, many of whom did not speak English, and taught them a job which, instead of paying them $8 or $9 an hour, paid them $16 an hour, and gave them a skill so that when Kennedy Die Castings closed, those people were all hired by other manufacturers in the city. So on behalf of a grateful community, thank you, Brian, for carrying on a tradition. Now, Todd mentioned that he's going to give an award. I have one that I want to give. When Mechanics Hall was opened in 1857, they did training classes there. And in order to be recognized as a mechanic, you didn't have to fix cars. There were no cars then. You had to be a skilled craftsman who was dedicated to the community. And it was an honor to be elected and admitted to the Worcester County Mechanics Association. So on behalf of the Worcester County Mechanics Association, Brian, I'd like you to come up and receive a certificate that says, this is to certify that Brian Cummings has been admitted as a member of the Worcester County Mechanics Association in Worcester, Mass., signed by the President of the Mechanics Association, Margaret Wong, and Erwin Miller, our clerk. Brian, would you please come up? Todd, you've got the certificate, so I'll let you do your...
And I hope I'm giving.
I was going to give you a Christmas order instead.
And Brian, on behalf of the Research Bureau, I just wanted to give you this certificate for the Thomas Green Awards as well, and invite you to say a few words.
Thank you very much. That was the best substitute introduction one could receive. I'm honored, and I have words in here to reflect that. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Manager, Superintendent BINIENDA, City Councilors, School Committee members, Worcester Research Bureau staff, and all of the other guests attending tonight's ceremony. And good evening to my Worcester Public Schools and Worcester Tech family, and of course, my own amazing family. Having you all here tonight to share in this very memorable event with me is truly an honor. I'd like to extend my congratulations to my fellow award winners, Ms. Deborah Donahue, Ms. Amanda Gregoire, and Mr. Hermes Rivera. It is truly an honor to be one of the 4 individuals selected for this prestigious award. I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to Mayor Petty for nominating me for the Thomas S. Green Award and to the selection committee for choosing me. I could not be more grateful for this recognition. I know there are so many others worthy of this award. Mr. Mayor, my students and I consider it a privilege to have the opportunity to redesign the key to the city and continue to manufacture them, and the many other projects you entrust us with. I say this not just on behalf of my own department, but the whole school. Thank you for your continued dedication and strong support to Worcester Tech. I would also like to thank the Worcester Tech administration for these opportunities you have given me and my students, and for the faith and trust you have given me in rebuilding our advanced manufacturing program. I honestly feel like I'm the luckiest person to sign in each morning. To my family, thank you. Sorry. Thank you for all the encouragement and support you have given me, and for the many hours of childcare at home to help, taking some of the pressures off my wife while I'm working these hours, who unfortunately cannot be here tonight because, for a good reason, our son is crossing over to his next Cub Scout rank tonight. She will get to watch this on video, so I better, but most of all, thank her as well for supporting me. And the many days I have worked extra hours or attended events, your support of my career goals and the opportunity to pursue them are immeasurable. Without all of you I have mentioned, I would not be standing here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy, for your warm and thoughtful introduction. I appreciate all the kind words, many more than I could have imagined. I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Kennedy and walking him through Worcester Tech last week. I also had the opportunity to teach Mr. Kennedy's employees, as he said, from Kennedy Die Castings. Thank you for sharing your stories and walking me through the history of Worcester Tech, our manufacturing community, and the history of Mechanics Hall and the Mechanics Association. Your contributions to this city are endless. I can only hope I can contribute a fraction of what you have contributed to this beautiful city of Worcester. Although I reside in Millbury with my wife and children, I have always called Worcester my home, and I am proud to be a part of this community and the Worcester Public Schools and Worcester Technical High School. Once again, thank you, Mr. Petty, and thank you all for being here. I am honored to receive the Thomas S. Green Award and will do my best to carry on its meaning and live up to its expectations. Thank you all.
I'd like to invite Ellen Ganley up to make the presentation for Deborah Donahue.
Hello, my name is Ellen Ganley. I'm now the Director of Development for Worcester Community Action Council, but as a former municipal employee, I'm really excited and honored to be part of the committee that chose the winners and congratulate Tim and his team for continuing this tradition and honoring some of the best and brightest that the city has. I'm really excited to be here with some of my former colleagues in particular. As we're introduced to this evening's winners, there are clear similarities and traits that they share. They're great team players, incredible work ethics, willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, and incredible compassion, passion, and commitment to their job. They also possess another similarity. Total and utter embarrassment at having been selected. Am I right, Hermes? Preferring instead to simply do their job without the notoriety. The honoree I have the pleasure of introducing you to tonight, in fact, was so embarrassed she fled the country. Okay, well, maybe fled the country is a bit of an exaggeration, but she is indeed out of the country, enjoying a long-planned, and I might add, well-deserved vacation in Punta Cana with some girlfriends to celebrate an upcoming milestone birthday. We're pleased her husband Bruce and members of her family are here to accept her award. Let me introduce you to Deb Donahue. She began working in the Worcester City Clerk's office in 1983. At the time, she was a single mom with a 4-year-old son, and recalls she took the job simply because it was on a bus route, a necessity to get her from her home in Grafton Hill, downtown, hop on another bus to drop her son off at daycare, and then head back to City Hall. Here, 30-plus years later, on occasion, she still takes that same bus, but only when the roads are snowy and icy. In those early days, Deb worked on manual typewriters, perched upon ugly army green desks with no air conditioning. Many licenses were even handwritten at the time. Throughout the tenure of 3 city clerks, advances in technology, and some physical improvements to the building, yes, they finally have air conditioning, Deb has been a constant in the office, dealing with public requests, working on revisions of city zoning ordinances, to her present-day responsibilities, which include assisting in the creation and processing of agendas and minutes for the Worcester City Council. The City Clerk's office is the keeper of records, with an inventory which dates back to the 1700s. Deb is, as a result, an excellent researcher and the officer's go-to person when requests for older records are received. But not only is she a keeper of history, she's an active participant. She witnessed and welcomed longtime friend and co-worker Susan LeDoux as the first female city clerk in the city's history. She was front and center when Massachusetts became the first state in the Union to issue marriage license to same-sex couples. She recalled fondly 2 older gentlemen, one white, one African-American, who had spent more of their lives together as a couple than apart, and were among the first she helped license when they were finally free to be legally wed. She also played an important role in supporting the city's Elections Commission when Massachusetts began offering early voting options for the first time this past fall. But beyond her remarkable work within the City Clerk's office, I'd be remiss if I didn't note her insatiable commitment to community through her involvement with the Fraternal Order of Eagles Ladies Auxiliary. She's held the office of chaplain, conductor, historian, vice president, and will soon take over as the organization's president. Committed to raising funds to support such causes as cancer research, diabetes, spinal cord injury, Alzheimer's, and child abuse, Deb's involvement has supported local charities including Sherry's House, Special Olympics, Clara Barton Camp, and local veterans. In closing, I'll leave you with the words of City Clerk Susan LeDoux in her nomination of Debbie. The world is a better place with Debbie in it, and the City of Worcester is a better organization with Debbie as one of its employees. Congratulations, and Bruce, you can come up and accept her award.
Debbie would like to thank the Research Bureau for nominating her, well, Sue for nominating her, and for them recognizing her. She'd like to thank everyone that helped her out over the years in the city. Without their help, she could not do her job. All the winners with her, congratulations. And this is going to be staying in the house for a while because she's on vacation and she can't return it right now. So thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to ask Karen Ludington to come up and do the presentation for Amanda Gregoire.
Thank you. Every time I have the privilege of participating in this ceremony, I'm impressed by the caliber of the people who work for our city, because they care about the lives of its citizens. Getting to meet these honorees and learning about what they do is sometimes eye-opening, often jaw-dropping, and always an honor. Today is no exception. My warmest congratulations go to all our honorees this afternoon, and I'm so proud to tell you about the young woman I will introduce to you, Amanda Gregoire. Amanda is all Worcester and all about Worcester. She was born here, went to the Worcester Public Schools, graduated from South High, where she was in the biomath program, and she credits her field hockey coach for her and their support. She went on to Clark, where she earned both bachelor's and master's degrees. Her job title is Senior Project Manager, which sounds like a lot for someone who's only been with the city for about 5 years, but that doesn't even begin to describe all that Amanda has done in that time. She's the primary project manager for the Theater District Transformative Development Initiative, TDI, and is one of only 2 TDI adjunct fellows in the state. She's been part of the project management for City Square, Union Station, North Main Street, Lincoln Square, the Gardner-Kilby-Hammond Bike Path, the DCU Convention Center renovation, Public Art Plan, and I don't know how many more. I would keep you here too long. She has become a property manager for the city, and she speaks with affection and pride about her property, for example, the auditorium. In 2014, she was asked to serve as the Art of Science Learning Fellow, which not only, as she says, put her out of her comfort zone, but which took up every other Saturday for a year while she worked on ways to address Worcester's transportation challenges. Amanda was doing her regular job one day in 2013 when the director of the Youth Opportunities Office resigned. And, of course, Amanda stepped in. She coordinated the summer Wheels to Water program and within 2 weeks had achieved the highest participation rates, that is the rates of kids using this transportation system to get to pools in our city like the one at the YWCA, the highest rates in the history of the program. None of this should be surprising, I guess, for someone who was named Employee of the Month within 2 years of starting work for the city. Not having enough to do, Amanda volunteers her own time on the City Manager's Committee on the Status of Women, the Canal Diggers 5K Road Race Committee, Pow Wow, and in case some of you don't know what that is, we thank them for these gorgeous murals that we see around the city. I love those. And several more organizations. And she finds time to hike and run, training for her first marathon, which she hopes to run this year. Why does she do so much for the city of Worcester? Amanda says it's because she likes working for the place her family calls home, the place that nurtures her and where her nieces and nephews go to school. Over and over again, she told me she feels so lucky and incredibly lucky to do what she does. One of the people who wrote the Research Bureau in support of Amanda's nomination summed it up best. He said, "I have come to know many of the city's employees and am in awe of the talent that resides in City Hall and beyond. In my opinion, Amanda represents the very best qualities of this fine company." It is my honor to introduce to you Amanda Gregoire and to ask that Todd come up to present her with the 2017 Thomas S. Green Award.
Thank you for that introduction, Karen. I'm speechless almost. Good thing I wrote some stuff down here. Thank you to Tim McGurthy and the Worcester Regional Research Bureau, to the city manager, to the mayor, to Superintendent BINIENDA, and everyone who is here tonight. I can't begin to tell you how humbled I am to be up here right now to receive this award, especially given the caliber of work and the years of service put in by all of my fellow recipients. I can't think of other people who are more deserving to receive this. Congratulations to all of you. I'd really like to start off by thanking my family, especially my mom, and also my Kelly. They're the ones who get dragged to events on the Worcester Common on the weekends. They're the ones who have to wait for me while I finish up just one more thing at City Hall. And they are the ones who have to listen to me talk endlessly about all of my projects and all of the reasons why Worcester is just so great and totally the place to be. And I can assure you, I can go on at length. You are lucky that you do not have to listen to me. I am also extremely lucky to work in economic development for the city. It's a team made up of people who could just as easily be up here today. The dedication, the hard work that I witness every single day at work, it's just incredible. And you see it every day when you walk out of City Hall or are traveling down our city streets. There are buildings being built and neighborhoods being transformed, and I am just a tiny, tiny part of that, and I'm so lucky to be just a tiny part of that. I'm so lucky to work in an environment where people are encouraged to learn and to grow and to work for a city that I call home and that generations of my family have called home. I also feel incredibly lucky that I have such a strong mentor in my boss, Heather Gould. Heather nominated me for this award tonight, and she has just been there for me every step of the way, both professionally and personally. And I don't think I could ever thank her enough. There is not a better person to learn from, to get coffee with, to occasionally butt heads with. And the city of Worcester is just, they're so lucky to have Heather. I don't want to go on for too much longer, so I thought I would end with one of my favorite quotes. It seems really appropriate given the topic of the day. And it goes, "Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. It is the very purpose of life and not something you do in your spare time." Every single day, there are people throughout this city, in every department, in every school, in every neighborhood, that really embody this ideal, and that is why Worcester is so great. And it's the people that make all of this happen every day, and I am just so humbled that I get to go to work and I get the opportunity to see them and learn from them every day. Thank you very much.
And the last award recipient is Hermes Rivera, and I'd like to ask Paul Provost to come up and to present the award.
I have to put it back up to the city manager setting. Good evening. I'm Paul Provost, publisher of the Telegram and Gazette, and I'm humbled to be a part of tonight's ceremony, honoring the hardworking and mostly unsung heroes of public service. When I found out who I was introducing, in fact, when I found out that Hermes had won, I volunteered to honor him tonight. I was more excited to witness firsthand the hard work and dedication of Hermes Rivera. Hermes has been working for the city of Worcester for almost 21 years in multiple roles, including DPW, Cemetery Division, Parks Department, and the city manager's Grime Watch team. He's operated the Parks trash truck, having single-handedly picked up trash in the city's 60-plus parks. What Hermes did solo now requires 4 people. Hermes gives new meaning to the term utility player, as he oversees everything from snow removal, grass cutting, landscaping, and planning and improvement in public safety. Most recently, Hermes was promoted to working foreman in charge of the Worcester Common, the Oval, and the City Hall grounds. That's where our paths crossed on many an occasion. The first time I met Hermes was last July. The Telegram and Gazette put on a downtown obstacle course, and it started and finished at the Common. Hermes was in charge of the Common that day, and when we arrived at 4 o'clock to set up, as the mayor stated, and as the city manager stated, Hermes was already there. When we left in the early evening, somewhere around 6 o'clock, Hermes was still there working. And since then, I've seen Hermes hard at work on the Worcester Common, no matter what the weather conditions were outside. In fact, this past winter, after one of the snowstorms, I was walking to City Hall for some business, and around came the corner was the green John Deere snowblower, with a big smile and a stop and a stare down as he turned the auger and pointed it directly at me as I was walking towards him. Thankfully, he didn't turn that on, and I didn't get sprayed with snow before my meeting. But Hermes was born in Puerto Rico, spent his early years there before moving to Worcester. where he was raised and attended Burncoat High School. He was involved in gymnastics and boxing. He continued boxing into his 20s and has over 300 amateur fights under his belt. He turned pro at the age of 25 and has an undefeated record of 4-0, where he fought locally in Lowell, Holyoke, and right here in Worcester. Hermes and his wife of over 30 years, Tracy, is here tonight with their 3 girls aged 21, 16, and 12. Every town would be lucky to have someone even half as dedicated as Hermes, and I'm honored to introduce him here this evening.
Thank you very much. I'm lost on words.
Well, that's it. On behalf of the Research Bureau, I want to thank you for joining us here this afternoon. We hope you can also join us at the reception across the hall, courtesy of Assumption College. Thanks so much for being here.